back to the channel. Today we're going to do a long-term review on the Giant Trance Advanced 2. This will also line up with a lot of the other Giant Trance bikes in the 27.5 wheel category. I've had this bike for about 2 years now, and I figured it was time to do a review on it to try to help other people who might be looking at getting a Giant Trance as their all-around trail, all-mountain bike. So the Trance Advanced is a carbon fiber frame, the front triangle, and then the rear triangle is made out of aluminum. It comes stock with carbon fiber wheels as well, which is great. They've been real light, real firm, and strong. Initially, I had worries about using a carbon fiber bike over an aluminum bike, but those worries quickly dissipated. I have gone through rock gardens at almost 30 miles an hour and hit all sorts of stuff, and they're fine. I've never had an issue. No cracks, no nothing. Been really sturdy, and I'm really surprised with the build quality of the bike. As far as travel goes, this bike has 150 millimeters of travel in the front with a RockShox 35 Gold RL, and then in the rear it has 140 millimeters of travel with the RockShox Deluxe Select Air Shock. Phew! Along with this bike, it has a very long name. It's the Giant Trance Advanced 2 from 2020. Now, it'll be relevant to a lot of the other 27.5 bikes that they have out there, wheel size, in the way that it rides and performs. And we're going to go over some of that. So from the factory stock, the bike came with a SRAM SX drivetrain. Realistically, what you get is you get SX cranks, SX front, your shifter, and then you get the SX derailleur with an NX cassette and an NX chain. The SX derailleur lasted about maybe 8 months, and I always had really bad shifting with it. What I ended up doing when I finally destroyed the SX derailleur, I went ahead and I upgraded to the NX that they had available. It's really hard to get parts now because of shortages, but my bike shop had an NX derailleur. They put that on, world of a difference. Bike feels so much better going through cycling through gears, and it's a lot more confident in my shifting capabilities. As far as the tires, the bike comes stock with a 2.5 inch Maxxis high roller in the front and a 2.4 inch Maxxis high roller in the rear. Now, because the bike has carbon wheels, I went and I put Cushcore in the front and rear just because I ride pretty aggressively. I ended up putting a Maxxis DHF 2.6 in the front, and I tried running the 2.5 high roller in the rear. Now, by doing that, there really isn't a lot of clearance in the rear to put a much bigger tire than a 2.5 in there. Now, if you do, you're going to blow a lot of trail debris up behind your rear triangle, and you can end up getting some rocks in where your suspension moves up and down, and there's a potential to break some rocks in between there, and it's not really a great thing with a carbon frame. So I went back down to the 2.4 inch tire size in the rear. I haven't had any problems since. I have plenty of clearance now. This does depend on the tire and the tire tread pattern that you get. It may work good for you to run something less aggressive in the back that's a 2.5, but for me, running a 2.6 in the front and a 2.4 in the back, it feels a little better to me. The front end's just a touch higher, but it does feel better to me when I'm riding, and that's my preference. Yours may be different, but just the warning that you will knock a bunch of stuff up into the back where you can damage your frame if you run a larger tire in the back. For pedals for this bike, I use the 1UP composite flat pedals. They're around $50. They're great pedals. They've lasted forever. I had them on my old bike before this one, and I don't have any problems with it. They're a little wider than the Chesters, which I like, and they're not so wide that you're clipping everything. For grips, I use Ergon grips. They're a little harder, but I do like them. I may try out for something else in the future. If you have any comments or tips, thoughts about really great grips, leave them in my comments section. I'd love to try something different. As far as suspension, the front fork, the RockShox 35 RL Gold fork, I had a lot of issues with. Right from the factory, I ended up having to bring it back in. The bushings in the fork don't quite fit properly, or they're not attached very well, and they can slip out, and then your front fork gets really sticky. You barely go through your travel. It feels like it might be locked out. It was kind of a mess, especially for coming on a brand new bike. If you're going to purchase a brand new bike, try to avoid getting the RockShox 35 Gold RL fork in its entirety. I've made the fork work for me by completely disassembling it. This is after I got it back on the warranty and they gave me new lowers. I completely disassembled it, put in new oil and grease, and I changed out the wiper seals from a flanged wiper that comes with the fork to a flangeless SKF. That made a huge difference in the performance. It actually feels like it's supposed to now. That being said, this fork has an open bath damper. Now, what that means is that the oil is just kind of freely sloshing around in there, and you have a little port that the oil goes through to be able to provide compression dampening. Now, you're not really going to feel a lot of compression dampening out of this fork, and you're not really going to notice a big difference in rebound adjustment either between the fully slow and the fully open or fast position. It's just how the fork is. You can make it work for you from messing around with the air pressure, and I have it to a place now where it's acceptable, and I'm okay with that. It's working like it's supposed to. Some of the other forks you could look at purchasing would be like the Marzocchi forks are great. RockShox Yari and up is great, and then of course anything Fox 34, 36, 38 are excellent forks as well, and will make a huge difference over the one that comes equipped if you do get a RockShox 35 Gold fork. I would say if you're spending the money on a new bike, avoid that fork like the plague, unless you're willing to spend some time and really get it to work. So I've taken this bike to Blue Mountain Bike Park. I ride Frederick locally in Maryland. I ride Little Gunpowder in Maryland. Lots of rock gardens, some steep descents, jumps here and there, drops, etc. Everything I've thrown at this bike, it's just smiled and said more. The more aggressively that you ride the bike, the better it feels. The first time that I went out and rode Frederick Watershed, which is a pretty aggressive trail system, after riding around Little Gunpowder for a long time, I couldn't believe the bike. I was like, I had no idea that you worked like this. This is awesome. I was super stoked and excited. Same thing when I took it to Blue Mountain Bike Park. It just wants to be ridden hard and fast. And it really starts to perform and open up when you meet those two requirements, hard and fast. Yeah, it'll make you smile. It really will. When you start railing on the bike, it will make you smile, and you'll be happy. Giant itself as a company, I'm very happy with it. I bought the wife a bike as well from Giant, a hardtail. They have a 2-year warranty on the bike for carbon bikes. It's like the carbon composite warranty program they have, so you can race it, wreck it, however you want to do, and within 2 years, and they will replace whatever you broke. You break the frame, they'll give you a new frame. You break the wheels, they give you new wheels. Like whatever it is, you just get it new. So that's a pretty good deal for the bike. So as far as cost goes, with this bike, if you purchase something from Giant, like say you get the Giant Trance, you're going to end up spending $1 to $3 grand less than you would from other manufacturers to get the same component spec and same frame, etc. They make everything in-house for the most part, so they're able to save some money on your final cost. They also make frames for the other big bike manufacturers. So I mean, that says something. Um, Really, it's one of the more affordable. I know they're all expensive, but it's one of the more affordable bikes. You get a lot of bang for your buck. All in all, I'd have to say that I love this bike. It's been phenomenal. Huge step up over my hardtail that I used to ride. Um, I've been able to get much better at mountain biking through this bike. It opened up a whole other world of possibilities. You know, some days I go and ride dirt jumps, some days I ride rock gardens, some days it's drops, some days it's climb up to the top of this huge mountain. It does everything. It's a good all around. If you have to buy one bike, it's a great bike. If you want to buy one bike, it's a great bike. You can't really go wrong with it. It'll climb anything, it'll go down anything. And it goes up and down very well. Um, Nothing's really broken on the bike at all. You know, I've had some crashes and parts of me got hurt, but the bike was fine. In every case, the bike was fine. So I really can't recommend enough, getting a Trance or maybe its brother, the Rain, one of the two. Both great bikes. And in the long run, it's still holding up just fine. This bike still has years of life left in it, and I'm really happy with that. Less things to have to worry about, have to fix. You spend more time riding and enjoying yourself, getting some good exercise, being happy about being outside. Anyways, all in all, I hope this video was helpful and maybe gave you an idea about what purchasing and owning a Giant Trance is like. It's a good experience all around. Anyways, thanks for being with me today, and we'll have some ride videos up again soon. Hope you enjoy your day and hope you get a chance to get out and ride your bike. Thanks for watching.